Well, as you can see, we're here at the Parts View workbench. You know, Dave, you're over there chewing like a chipmunk. I saw you get into the process cooler, you and old Brelicious.
It's hard to choke down a nice big piece of jerky real quick.
All right, so we're talking about striped bass in Texas. So
yeah, you know, I'm not an expert on striped bass, but I did some reading. I did some research. You know, it's the largest member of the sea bass family. You know, a bass isn't even a bass; it's a sunfish.
Okay.
But a striped bass is the largest member of the, and they can live in saltwater or freshwater. Thank goodness, because Texas has a ton of them in freshwater.
Right.
And you know, you can catch them in both places. They spawn in the springtime when the water hits about 60 degrees. It's when the striped bass start, you know, doing their thing. And they're the fourth most targeted species in Texas. They're worth $20 million to the Lake Texoma alone. Just that lake.
Just that lake.
Just that lake's worth $20 million to them. So, and you can catch them. They can weigh up to 20 pounds. So the best places to catch them in Texas are Lakes Texoma. They have a really abundant striped bass population, and you can catch them from the shore or the boat in that lake. Lake Buchanan, large striped bass in that lake, especially during the springtime spawn. Trinity River, all up and down the river. There's places you can go catch them.
Salt water.
Yep. Possum Kingdom, you know, clear water, rocky structures. You know, they're actually called a rock bass in a lot of places. They love clear water and rocks.
Right.
Those kind of structure. And Lake Amistad, Toledo Bend, Lake Livingston.
Right.
All of those lakes have them. Best way to catch them, use a big swim bait, you know, like these Bass Assassin sea shads or the Artemis shad. You know, put it on a big weighted swim hook.
Right.
And get down there. You know, these bass will gather up around schools of shad. You know, they love to, you know, any schooling bait fish, the striped bass, that's where they're going to be. You know, especially if they're around any kind of structure. Jerk baits work well.
Lipless crankbaits because they sink.
Correct. You know, a lot of times you're fishing in deep water for these fish, and the fish are suspended down deep. You need to get down there either with a crankbait or a suspending jerk bait. They also like to eat spoons.
Right.
Spoons. Using a spoon as a jig is a great thing to do. You know, get up on top of a school and use that spoon like a jig. They like chrome, silver, anything that looks like those bait fish that they're hovering around. You know, topwater lures, great.
You hear lots of guys talking about when they go on that blitz.
Correct.
They start busting the
shads.
shads.
You know, they'll push all those shad up to the surface, and when they do that, it's usually in the early morning or in the afternoon. And if you get on top of them with a good, you know, like that jaywalker, either a walking bait or even a stick popper, they will plow it, and it is a heck of a bite and a great fight. So that's probably how I would target them, because I really love to see the eat. You know.
So what rod do you think we need?
You're going to need something
that you can two-handed cast for distance?
Yeah, you need distance, especially if you're cranking crankbaits down deep. You know, the further you can get that crankbait away from you, the deeper you're going to get it. You're also going to want something with a pretty fast retrieve to get that bait deep as well. That you know, that bait casting rod there is a Veritas medium. Which is a pretty stiff and strong rod, but these fish can get up to 50 pounds.
Whoa!
So you know you want to have something.
This Veritas would definitely stop it.
Right, and you put that that Revo STX on there. That's got like an 8.1 to 1.
Wow!
And 25 pounds of drag. So which is great. And
10 to 1.
Does that say 10 to 1?
10 to 1.
Well, it beats the box.
You're blind.
The box says 8 to 1. Anyway. A good spinning reel is great to use as well. This is a Penn Spinfisher 7. You need something beefy like this if you get a big fish on. You don't want a little wimpy spinning rod or spinning reel that's going to flex and move around.
You don't want to get caught with your crappie pants on.
Correct. You want to have something with some substance behind you when you get into them. So.
Hey.
Get a Penn Spinfisher 7.
All right.
I think that was a little.
I'm going in with a very.
I went too fast.
Too soon for Dave over there with the crappie pants.